Jesus walks on water. It had been a very long day. Jesus and his disciples had been out teaching about God and performing miracles and making people well again. Many people followed them, and Jesus spent the whole day teaching and feeding thousands of people. But when the day was over and the crowds were leaving, Jesus told the disciples to go to find their boat and go back to the other side of the lake. When everyone left, Jesus went up to the mountainside by himself to pray. When Jesus finished praying, it was very early in the morning. He came to the shore where the disciples had left some time earlier. He could see the boat, but it was quite far away. The wind had taken them faster across the lake than usual. Jesus knew that he had to get to the other side of the lake and join the disciples. He decided he could teach the disciples something, so he started to walk on the water towards their boat. Jesus walked and finally was close enough to the disciples so that he could see each of them on the boat. All of a sudden, one of the disciples said, "What is that?" He pointed out into the water, and all the disciples turned round to see what was out there. "I think it's a ghost. What else could it be?" A few of the disciples were terrified. Jesus could see and hear their confusion, and he called out to them, "It's all right. I am here. Do not be afraid." The disciples looked at each other and felt silly that they thought that their teacher was a ghost. Then Peter replied, "Lord, if it really is you, tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus said with his hand reaching out to Peter. The disciples watched as Peter carefully got out of the boat and began to walk on the water towards Jesus. Peter watched Jesus first, but then started to notice the wind and the small waves on the water, and he started to get worried. Then suddenly Peter started to be scared as he began to sink, and he cried out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught Peter before he was totally submerged. "You have such little trust for me, Peter," Jesus said. "Why did you doubt me?" Peter walked to the boat with Jesus by his side and wondered to himself, why had he got so afraid? He knew that Jesus could do anything. As soon as Jesus got into the boat, the wind stopped and the water was calm. Then everyone in the boat worshipped Jesus, saying, "Truly, you are God's Son."